When Mia told me she was moving out, I didn't think much of it. We'd been distant for months, and part of me believed a little space might help. But when she added, "I'm keeping the apartment because it's in my name," everything inside me froze. That apartment wasn't just a place to live, it was the life we'd built together, every memory, every argument, every laugh. Hearing her say it so calmly made it clear. She'd already made up her mind long before this conversation. I sat on the couch, looking around the living room that we'd furnished together. The small plant on the windowsill, the chipped coffee table, the framed photo from our first vacation, they all looked different now. They weren't ours anymore. They were hers. I asked, trying to keep my voice steady, "So, when were you planning to tell me this?" She shrugged, not meeting my eyes. I didn't want to argue. I thought it'd be easier if I just took care of things. Easier. That word hit hard. I remembered how she used to say love was about teamwork. Now she was deciding everything without me. I tried to reason with her, reminding her that I'd paid half the rent for 2 years, that I'd even helped renovate the place when the ceiling leaked. But she stayed quiet, her arms crossed, her expression unreadable. "It's not about money, Jake," she said finally. "It's about moving on. I need to." That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake on the couch, staring at the ceiling. The more I thought about it, the more things began to make sense. Her late-night texts, the new password on her phone, the sudden girls' trips she never used to take. I didn't want to believe it, but something told me that this move wasn't just about independence. It was about someone else. The next morning, she was already packing boxes. I offered to help, but she refused. She wanted this separation clean, quick, and emotionless. I watched her take down the photo of us at the lake, the one I thought she loved. She didn't even look at it before tossing it into a box. My chest tightened. "Mia, just tell me, was there someone else?" I asked. Her hand froze mid-air, then she sighed. "It doesn't matter anymore, Jake." That was enough of an answer. Days passed like slow poison. The apartment felt emptier each hour. She still stayed there. Technically, it was her place, while I started looking for somewhere else. The cruel irony was that my name was on every bill, yet I had no say in staying. Every time I came to collect my things, she acted like I was a guest. A week later, a delivery man showed up while I was grabbing the last of my clothes. He carried a large bouquet of flowers with a note attached. Mia smiled and took it, pretending not to see me watching. When she left the room, curiosity got the better of me. The note read, "Can't wait to see you tonight. Dinner's on me. See." That was the confirmation I didn't want. I didn't confront her right then. Instead, I quietly packed the last of my belongings and left. But before I did, I stopped by the lease agreement folder she kept on the shelf. I had signed something there, a clause about shared property expenses. I took photos of everything, just in case. My hands shook as I shut the door behind me for the last time. Over the next month, I stayed with a friend while sorting out legal advice. Turns out, since I had contributed financially, I was entitled to a portion of the apartment's equity. Mia hadn't expected that. When she got the notice, she called me, furious. "How could you do this? You said you'd let it go." I stayed calm. "You made your choices, Mia. I'm just making mine." She tried guilt, then tears, then anger. But I didn't budge. For once, I wasn't reacting emotionally. I was acting logically, something she'd never let me do before. Eventually, the court ruled that she owed me compensation for my financial share. It wasn't about the money anymore, it was about closure. Months later, I passed by that same building again. The lights were on in our old apartment, and through the window, I saw her laughing with someone new. A part of me hurt, but another part felt strangely peaceful. That chapter was closed. I found a new place, not fancy, but mine. I filled it with things that made me happy, a bookshelf, some plants, a new couch. Every item felt like a small victory. I realized that what I thought was the end was really just the beginning of something better. Mia reached out once more, a few months later. She sent a short message, "Hope you're doing okay. I miss what we had." I read it, smiled sadly, and deleted it. I'd already learned that some people only regret losing control, not losing you. Now, when I think back to that day, she said, I'm keeping the apartment, I no longer feel anger. Just relief. She kept the walls and furniture, but I kept my peace. And that was worth far more than any apartment could ever be. It took losing that space to realize the truth. I didn't need to fight for a place where I was never truly wanted. What I needed was a life where I could finally breathe, grow, and move on, without her.